See how it goes. I know that my father would be really extremely proud to be here tonight. His selection is something that my family and I have dreamed about and thought that would happen someday. And his extraordinary football skills are magnified by this honor tonight. And one of the things that I've always wondered, and he kind of emphasized this and is a good example of this, but how many college athletes get a chance to achieve a level of excellence where they are considered the very best at what they do, where they can dominate the sport that they compete in? Friends and teammates and people I've met here tonight have told me that my father was just that kind of player, that he completely dominated his opposition, and win or lose, he never gave up. For his efforts, he received a number of awards, and two that stand out are the All-American Award and the Outland Trophy that he won in 1949. And for an interior lineman, that's kind of like winning the Heisman Trophy, I guess you could say. But just as important to him as the actual awards, and maybe more important to him, were the words that were written on them. On the All-American Honor, it says, Award of Honor to Michigan State College, upon the selection of Ed Bagdon as the 1949 Look All-American, on the 1949 Look All-American football team. The same on the Outland Trophy. It says Edward Bagdon, guard, Michigan State College. Important to him were the words Michigan State. He won these honors playing here, and he accepted them on Michigan State's behalf. And he made sure that everyone that knew him understood just how important being a Michigan State Spartan was to him. And one incident that I can relate to, that I'm sure many of you will understand, was, and I'd like to share it with you, was a time that I came home from school and I was wearing a blue t-shirt. And on that blue t-shirt, it had some corny color and the name of that school emblazoned across the front. And he looked at me and I said, Steve, we need to go outside and have a talk. And so we walked out and in the garage, and we were just standing there talking, and he explained to me what school's t-shirt I was allowed to wear. And what school I wasn't allowed to wear. And he explained in detail the blood and the sweat and the pain and the heartache that he endured against that particular school, and how embarrassed and disgusted he would be if I wore that shirt out in public. So he went over to the trash can and he lifted the lid and he asked me to take the shirt off and throw it away. I told him, I said, well, it's brand new, I just bought it. I could give it to a friend of mine, I know that he would like it and he'd want to wear that. And he said, really, that shirt isn't worth giving away. And if I had a friend who would actually wear it, I should probably look for a new friend. I don't know if he was serious or not, but I think he was. I just didn't take that chance again. And if it wasn't green and white, I didn't take a chance in wearing that in our house. But I do know that he was serious about Michigan State. And he kind of lived and he died every Saturday, depending on the outcome of a Spartans ball game. If they won, he would kind of strut around the house and beam around the house and tell me about how they beat that team in 1947 or whatever, and we'd talk about the game a little bit. But if they lost, he was just miserable. But by Sunday or Monday, he'd be pretty enthused again, and he'd be talking about this week's opponent, and he'd tell me about their strengths or their weaknesses and what Michigan State had to do in order to win that game. And then he'd start talking about, maybe a big game they played in 1948, 1949. What a tough coach Biggie Munn was to play for. But what a great coach and how much fun it was to play for Duffy Daugherty. And he would talk about the commitment that it takes physically and especially mentally to play the game at a college level. But, as we've all kind of seen, he would talk and he would, go on about football any place or any time. I listened and I nodded my head and usually I agreed with him, but I really never understood actually, the full extent of what he meant until tonight. But my family and I are very honored and we're very proud of his accomplishments, and we would like to accept this award on his behalf. Thank you.